Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racine Productions MC and producer. And joining me today, we have musician Jahnel Daliya. So I'm really happy to have Jahnel joining us. Hey Jahnel, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fine. I am doing great. Hey, let's begin with introducing yourself a little bit to our audience, and how you got started with music.
So my name is Jahnel Daliya. I have been writing and performing since maybe about 2014.
Mhm.
Um, but I've always been like writing when I was a kid and like my college years and learning to play the guitar. But I just was like too afraid to ever do anything about it. 2014 is when I just like really embraced that I'm gonna do this and enjoy it. I tend to write music about that, about like finding your passions, pursuing
Mhm.
your dreams. I mean, it's like we all still have responsibilities, life we have to work, you know,
Yes.
people depending on us or we don't. And then I guess it's like just because you have all that stuff going on doesn't mean you have to you can't, I don't know, still follow what you want to do.
Of course, definitely. And so, of course, this is a huge passion of yours that you've followed. And how has that journey been like for you so far?
It's had its ups and downs, but
Hmm.
ultimately, like I wouldn't change anything. I'm glad that I finally decided to take that step. It has inspired people around me, like which also pushes me to keep going because they're like, oh, I think it's so cool that you're like, a mom and you like go play shows. I'm like, yeah, because a lot of times I'm out really late. And they're like, well, who's got the kids? I'm like, their dad.
Yeah.
Like he's a parent. He can, if he works during the day and I work at night, that's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then, but the biggest part for me is that I'm inspiring my kids. Because part of the decision or the way I was able to let go of my fear of playing live or showing my talent and pursuing it was that I'm raising these two young boys. At the
Hmm.
time, they were like 2 and 5. And I'm like, I'm raising these kids, and you want your kids to be successful. You want them to be happy. And you tell them all the time, oh, you can be anything you want to be. And it's just like, well, how do I show them that? Because it's one thing to say,
Yes.
and kids aren't stupid. They can read adults, they can read their parents, they know when we're unhappy, and they can see that we're lying to ourselves. We're like, oh, everything's great when things are not great.
Yes.
They get to see me doing things and pushing myself and stepping outside my comfort zone. And now they have no excuse. They're like, well, okay, well, mom does it. And she tells us we can do it too. And we see how it works. We see that she's nervous, but she's still
Hmm.
doing it anyway. So it's
Ah, that is beautiful. That is
practicing what
beautiful.
you preach.
Yes, of course. That is so beautiful. And in the way that you're being an inspiration for your kids, tell me what inspires your songwriting? What are the type of things that you like to write about, that you think about to create your music? And what artists, what other musicians inspire you and your artistry?
Um, I am definitely inspired by other bands, whether they're local or
Hmm.
whether they're just national acts. Like when I find a new song on a playlist, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I want to create something like that. Whatever, it's either the instrumentation or it's the lyrics, the story behind it that just either gives me an idea or makes me feel something and I want to approach it. Um, as far as like local bands, it's just like to go out, when we could go out
Yes.
and see live shows, the energy in that room just really, that's inspiring. And it starts firing off all these things within me. And then I'm just like, I want to make something. I want to make something now. And
Yes.
it's so authentic that like if it's not something that I typically write or a genre that's like a little outside of my comfort zone, I'm like, well, let me just follow it and see what it is anyway. And, you know, but as far as like influences, I used to listen to Sam Cooke,
Hmm.
Whitney Houston, Paula Abdul when I was a kid. And you know, aside from thinking like, oh, they're pretty, it was just like, man, that looks really cool. I want to
Mm.
do that. And then just growing up in the 90s, I think I was limited in what I did listen to.
Mhm.
Like I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. So like whatever my mom listened to is what I listened to. And, you know,
But you
people
know,
are,
that's what shapes our own, like outlook and perspective and our own stories. You know what I mean? Like those little things. Yeah, and certain things even kind of become rituals. Like I remember growing up with my mom on Sunday, she used to always play oldies. So like I would always hear 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s throwbacks.
yeah, it's
Growing up
important,
in
right?
yeah, and to this day, like I when a Sunday comes, I love listening to oldies, and I listen to so much I can't swear on this. I listen to so much old shit. Um, Sometimes I don't even be listening to the new stuff. So many times, those things that we grow up with, they do have a big impact without us even realizing how much they do. Yeah.
I think they evoke an emotion
Mm.
or to a connection of like this past time that we had when we were like innocent, pure, young, free, you know, the feelings that we've had for our, like family. Because
Mhm.
like you go through life and things do change, but
Yes, they
if
do.
you can flash back to a time when you were like truly happy, all of this stuff that happened since then kind of fades away because you're just
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
I'm living this moment though, you know, this
Yeah, that's
moment.
why nostalgia is a drug. Tell me, so how is this, we touched on it a little bit, the fact that, now the clubs are closed, lounges, playhouses, wherever. How has this year been for you, and what are you looking forward to most in 2021?
It was a roller coaster for me. I
Mm-hmm.
think as soon as like everything shut down, it was also like spring break for my kids and we were going out of town. Like the weekend, everything started shutting down,
Wow.
but it was fine. We were like in the mountains and hiking and we were spending time as a family. So I embraced that. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is okay. I mean, I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but like I will embrace this unexpected interruption pause
Yeah.
time. And then, of course, as time goes on, I'm like, okay, I'm over this.
Yeah. It's like,
Let's
okay, we've
come
been
back
paused for a while.
like I need an escape. I need to be around people, but I
Mhm.
can't. So then it was kind of like a little sadness, a little depression about it because I get my energy from other people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, well, why aren't I should maybe I should play more. Maybe I should like practice music or write. And it's just like I didn't feel like it. So I embraced. I'm like, okay, I'm just not in a creative mood right now. I don't feel like creating. What do I want to do? And so it was just a lot of like reading books, watching, catching up on shows, spending time with my family, and then after a while, everyone started jumping on the live stream, you know, performances, and I'm just like, I don't know, I can't really connect with anyone. I'm looking at myself like, yeah, so I'm gonna play these songs and maybe people will show up, maybe they won't. And either way, I still get nervous and start sweating. I'm just like, oh, it's worse than being live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I figured out that I turned it into, well, what do I want to do? I really like sat with it and I picked up a different instrument. Well, same instrument. It's still a guitar, but I usually play on acoustic and I just challenged myself to learn how to play it better and play the electric more. And that started feeding my creativity. And then I wanted to write and then creating content and then saying, oh, well, I'm pretty sure I can't record any new stuff right now, but I have something that I can release. I should work on that. So that became a project to work towards and consumed like the time. And I didn't feel so bad, like, I'm such a loser. My life, I'm a failure. So yeah.
I see, I see. So, well, what are you working on next? And plug anything that you want to plug. What are you working on? What's coming on? What are you excited for? Let us know.
Okay, so I am excited to release a new song that I actually recorded in 2018
Mhm.
when I recorded my full length album, which released last year. It's called Into the Night. But I held this one song back. I was just like, I don't know, it doesn't seem to fit. So, and I didn't know when I was going to release it. I just like held on to it, and it wasn't right either. There was something missing. So when after going through this whole summer, realizing like, I don't know, I got to find something else to do, and making this new project to release this song, it's like, okay, now I have to hunker down. And I talked to my recording engineer and had him add something to it. I talked to a videographer and I was like, let's make a video. I was like, it was so fun making a video with him last time. I was like, let's do this again. So I finished the audio. I recorded shot a video with friends, and the song will come out. It's called Lucky One. It'll release next Friday, December 18th. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll release the music video to follow it sometime early next year. So for 2021, I'm looking forward to releasing a new video.
I love it. I love it. And so how can people follow you and keep up with you and get your music if they need to?
You can listen to all of my released music. I've released an EP and a full-length album. They are on every streaming platform: Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Deezer. Whatever you listen to, just search my name, Jahnel Daliya, and you can find it. I really am active on Instagram. That is
Mm-hmm.
my favorite platform to use. It's easier for me to tell stories and share things and connect with people, or try to connect with people. So you can find me on Instagram at sweetjaw30JH. I tend to, I'm starting a new series on Thursdays because I bartend on Wednesdays through Saturdays at a movie theater. And I'm like, man, I never get to partake in happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
So after I get off work on Thursdays, I'm going to come home and I get on IG Live and just hang out and see whoever wants to hang out with me, and have a drink or two or three, maybe play music. But really, I want to take that time to connect with other people because I miss it.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, I wish you all the success and all the best of luck with all of your endeavors. And thank you so, so much for joining me today for this nice little discussion. Thanks so much. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, no problem. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.